Hey everybody, I'm back. I'm here to share with you my results for my hours and hours and hours of research last night as well as today on recommendations for cruelty-free shampoos. And basically, I'm going to break it up into a few parts. It shouldn't be too long. I'll talk about the ingredients, what they actually do, putting the information in the down bar so you can take a look and decide and read and really consider the pros and cons of the different cleansing ingredients, what to look for and what to avoid. Let's get into it. Disclaimer first. Basically, these are my opinions, but mainly it's from research. I've looked at many sources, not just one source, because I don't believe just because something's on the internet it's true. I try and look at the science of it and the chemistry. That being said, there are whichever brand you want to try. If it works for you and it's cruelty free and you want it works, then use it and feel good about it. But try not to be emotionally attached to brands. The main thing I realized in my research is people are extremely emotionally attached to brands. You may not think you are, but ask somebody, do you know what this ingredient is in your shampoo and conditioner and where the source is? And watch the walls come up. Oh no, I use this brand, they're good, they're cruelty free, blah blah blah. Stop. One thing I noticed in my research, again, before I get into the brands that I'm going to recommend, is I noticed that Desert Essence, for those who are vegan out there, that some of their shampoos contain keratin, which usually are from animal sources. So something you may want to consider. Are they cruelty-free? Yes, but if you're looking for products that are vegan, might be something to consider. Also, Beauty Without Cruelty, noticed some of their shampoos and conditioners contained the ingredient biotin, which can be derived from animals, not necessarily. Now you can take the time and contact them yourself and ask them. And I thought about doing that, but you know what? I'm not going to contact Beauty Without Cruelty. Do you want to know why? Because, again, I've learned recently that Beauty Without Cruelty was sued for not being honest in their products. Why am I going to ask this company that has a history of not being honest? Do I trust them? No. They were sued because they had an organic cleanser. They called it organic, whatever the cleanser was. And you know how much of it was organic? The percentage of ingredients? 1%. Let me say that again. 1% of the ingredient was organic. Do you think that's honest? No. So I'm not going to be asking them for their honest opinion when they're not known for being honest. They changed the name of the product, and now if you look on their website, they say it is 10% organic. Woo! I don't, that's... And the only reason they changed the name is because they were sued, so I'm not going to be using them. But I still do recommend their products, so let me get into the recommendations. Beauty Without Cruelty, their rosemary tea tree mint shampoo I would recommend. I would not recommend any of the other shampoos because the third ingredient or so was panthenol, and that is more of a conditioning ingredient. And the purpose of a shampoo, as I mentioned in my previous video about sulfate-free shampoo truths, is that it's not supposed to be conditioning in the shampoo. What those other cleansing surfactant ingredients are trying to do is remove that. It thinks that that's dirt, and it also works harder to try and remove that from your hair and your scalp. So that's not something I would recommend personally. But next one being Kiss My Face, their Whenever shampoo. I would definitely not recommend Giovanni. I found most of their ingredients to be quite harsh and not very natural. And again, natural doesn't mean anything. Natural is not regulated. Next is Desert Essence and EO. Their ingredients were very similar, so you could try them. Another brand you could try is Hugo Naturals, and another one, I think that's mainly it, or the last one being Hugo Naturals. Now here we're going to get to the ingredients, the nitty gritty, the research. So I'm going to break it up into parts. Kiss My Face and Beauty Without Cruelty, their ingredients were similar. The cleanser they used, ingredients was called C1416 olefin sulfate, or it's also just called olefin sulfate, is another version, sort of derivative of it. It is a cleanser. Again, any of these ingredients are fine. You have to try it and see what works for you, but it can be known to be a bit drying, so that's something you may want to consider. They usually put other ingredients with it. The next ingredient with that was cocamidopropyl betaine, was another ingredient they both had. Now, cocamidopropyl betaine is kind of a tricky one. It's known to be a little bit is mild, but not necessarily cleanse your hair well. So it does work, but because it's milder, it doesn't remove as much oils and dirt. You do want some oils on your scalp, so there's the positive of that, but something to consider. I'll post all the information down there. Now, EO and Desert Essence had very similar ingredients, again, them being sodium coco-sulfate being one of them, and that again is a derivative diluted version of sodium lauryl sulfate, so that can be a little bit more effective, and they have mixed it with other ingredients to make it not as harsh, called coco-mitopropyl hydroxysultane. And basically, the dumbed down, easy to understand explanation of that ingredient is it is a milder version of coco-mitopropyl betaine, but it is perhaps a bit more effective. It delivers superior and milder performance compared to the common alternative coco-mitopropyl betaine. So that's sort of in a nutshell what it is. Oh, and the last one is diesel glucoside. That was also in some of Desert Essence products, which is also a mild surfactant. So it's a mild ingredient as well. So find one that works for you, make your own decision. If you want conditioning recommendations, conditioners, I'd be more than happy to recommend if you look at my videos, or I can do another recap of conditioner recommendations, my main one being EO, because again, with most shampoos and conditioners, with all of them really, the first 4 ingredients is mainly where you're going to find the ingredients that are of the highest potency. The rest of it is, there's barely any of the add ingredient actually in the product. And the reason why they put it there is because they have to have a certain amount of ingredients. I believe it's 70% or so to actually call a product organic, something like that. I'm not exactly sure on the numbers, you need to look that up, but that's why they put in this little extract, this little drop of peppermint oil that's organic, or this little drop of, these extracts that don't really do anything. So there you go, there's the facts. Make your own decision, see what works for you, and I hope this helps, and have a wonderful, beautiful anything. Any questions or comments down below. And I hope this helps you a little bit more and expose the truth of shampoos and ingredients to look for so you can understand what they mean. See ya.